The first game, Arsenal-Bayern. Second game, Atleti Dortmund. Third game, Real Madrid against Manchester City. And the fourth game is Paris Saint-Germain against Barcelona. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe before I give you my honest reaction to not only the Real Madrid-Manchester City matchup, which once again we're about to face Manchester City, but I'm gonna react to all teams. Let's like it. Let's come on, man. Let's build the liking up. Let's go. If you haven't already subscribe to the channel. We're getting closer to 20,000. We're getting closer to 20,000. Subscribing would mean a lot. It's a free button for you guys. You guys don't pay. Listen. Am I upset with facing City? I'm not. I'll be honest. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I'm not even throwing this gimmick, this and that. City is not the team which I said to myself, I don't want to face them at all completely. There's only one team that I looked at out of the 7 teams, and that was Atleti. Atleti was the only team which I said to myself, I want to avoid at all cost. At all cost. I don't want to face them at all. We've only lost twice this season. And both of them came against Atleti at Wanda. Wanda is such a tough away ground for any team, not just Real Madrid, for any team in the world. So Atleti was the only team which I looked at and said, you know what, I don't want to face them at all. But, however, look at last season and you saw what happened. You saw what happened last season. People say this was the worst performance that Real Madrid has dropped. True. It was one of the worst performances in my opinion. I can't lie, let's be real, not one of. Like, I'll be straightforward now. I'm not gonna throw this little I don't care. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. Last season was an absolute domination. Like, we have never beaten. We got beaten so badly, bro. Our first completed pass was when Bernardo Silva scored his first goal. Like, last season, we got absolute dominated. We got absolute destroyed. And did it come to City being great? Absolutely. City was on another level. They were exceptional last season. And from March, the moment they picked it up, the moment the switch was on, they took it to another level. Pep played his starting 11, the same starting 11, every single team. Beginning of season, Pep was rotating, Pep was experimenting, Pep was doing, you know what, let me put Bernardo Silva as a left back, let me put Stones there, Akanji there. No. From Feb and March onwards, it was the same lineup. Whenever you looked at the lineup, you knew City was on, you know what, game mode. Stones, no Kyle Walker, no Mahrez. It was Bernardo Silva, KDB, Gondor, Grealish was starting. You knew it was game plan. But at the same time, was City great? Yes, they were. Was Real Madrid bad? Absolutely, we were. I think everyone forgets we went into that game and we had no defensive midfielder. We started Cruz and Luka Modric in 2023. Tchouaméni was on the bench. Just deep it for a second. And the reason why I'm so pissed at Carlo Ancelotti, if we go back 12 months prior to that game last year, when we won the Champions League, we went to Etihad, first game of the semi-final, 5-3, Casemiro was suspended. So this is what I don't understand from last season. Carlo Ancelotti, you were the manager of that game. You coached the 5-3 when City beat us. And you played Luka Modric and Toni Kroos. And you said to yourself, all right, cool, we lost 5-3, we had no Casemiro. Why would you replicate the same exact mistake, even though you had Tchouaméni on the bench? That played a massive part in why City beat us. A massive part. I'm not taking anything from City. City was exceptional. I'm not taking anything away from it. But at the same time, we gave it to City. Listen. I think, is City the same team as last season? No, they're not. They're not the same team as last season. And anyone who thinks they are, I think you're living in that bubble of, cool, City have done it more than once in the past, where beginning of the season they don't start well, and in the second half of the season they flip it. Fair enough, we've seen it in the past, but we've seen it when January the switch turns on, February the switch turns on. Bro, we're mid-March and the switch hasn't been turned on. I still don't look at City with, oh my God, they are scary. I haven't once this season looked at City and said to myself, they are scary. Even Pep knows it himself. He doesn't have an exact top 11. Ask Pep right now, what's your starting 11 for the game against Real Madrid? He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Ask any City fan right now, who are you? Arsenal, in my opinion, this season are elite defensively. Absolute elite. One of the best teams in the world, if not the best team in the world. For me, we are the second best team. I don't think we are as great as Arsenal, because the reason why I say this, we have been very reliant on one person, and his name is Rudiger. Nacho hasn't been great. We've been relying on a defensive midfielder playing as a centre-back in Tchouaméni. We've had Lunin and Kepa rotating throughout the season, but Lunin, of course, took the main starting position over the past couple of months. Left-back, Mendy, Fran Garcia, inconsistencies in there. Mendy's now the starting left-back, but are we trusting Mendy? Question marks. Dani Carvajal started the season on a best in the world level. Over the past couple of weeks, he's been literally Dani Carvajal from last season. So defensively, we're not the greatest, but we've been elite because of one person. But I don't look at the City team and I say to myself, okay, Doku scares me on the right-hand side. He doesn't scare me on the right-hand side. He doesn't scare me at all on the right-hand side. Phil Foden scares me. But the question is, where is he going to be playing? Is he going to play on the left or on the middle? Where's Foden going to be playing? Because if he plays on the left, then I'm cool. I'm cool in the West. Because I'm not scared. He gets wasted on the left. But if he plays in the middle, then fair enough. Then that's a problem now. And that's a problem. Then that means we need to change something up. But even if it does happen, even if Foden does play in the middle, then I'm good. We've got Tchouaméni, who will be starting this time around. It's not going to be like last season where Tchouaméni didn't start. He will be starting this season. And this season, we've got two players who is making a difference compared to last season when we played City. One of them is the best player in the world this season, Mr. Jude Bellingham. Oh, what? How have you forgotten about Jude? Jude went to Etihad with Dortmund and dominated at Etihad. He had a goal wrongfully disallowed. But this time, Jude, on another level. Is this a hard matchup? Yes, it is. Are we going to get dominated like last season? Absolutely not. Is City the same team as last season? Absolutely not. Kyle Walker, this season, is he the same player as last season? Absolutely not. The guy gets beaten by a post-injury Luis Diaz. Not even pre-injury Luis Diaz. Post-injury Luis Diaz. The game against Newcastle, Anthony Gordon and Isaac was playing tag team. Who scores against him? Who goes one-on-one against him? Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Vinicius Jr. is going to have a great game. It just comes down with Carlo Ancelotti. In my opinion, the biggest question mark for Carlo Ancelotti heading into that game is two things. Two things. We are going to be playing the diamond formation. That's no doubts about that. But the question mark, actually 3 positions, in my opinion, he's going to look at it and say to himself, all right, who's going to be playing and who's not? The first position is who's going to be playing next to Vinicius Jr. as a striker. Because you've got Vinicius who's going to be undisputed. But who's going to be the person next to him? Is it going to be Rodrigo, Brahim Diaz, or Joselu? In my opinion, it's very easy. It's very clear-cut. I don't think even you should hesitate about it. And if you're watching the stream, Carlo Ancelotti, your answer is Rodrigo. End off. Don't overthink it. Because the game against Leipzig, who overthink it by starting 5 midfielders and having Rodrigo on the bench, and they dominate us. Moving on to the second game. We've got Arsenal against Bayern Munich. The reason why I said earlier that it's not as crazy to face this Bayern team. If you looked at it a couple of years ago, Bayern is Bayern. Bayern will always be Bayern. Bayern will always be one of the biggest teams in Europe. But this season, last season, Bayern are nowhere near the Bayern where people are making it seem like. If Arsenal faced Bayern 10 years ago, which they did 10 years ago, brother, 5-1, 4-0, Toni Kroos scoring outside the box, Robin curlers, Gnabry scoring, everyone, Lewa having fun, everyone had fun. Arsenal will beat Bayern, and they will go through. I'm telling you. I think you guys have got the image and the perception of Bayern because of the name. Bayern is Bayern, let's be real. But are we saying Bayern has been great this season? Absolutely not, they haven't. Bayern this season are cooked, bro. And I'm not talking about the Bundesliga. They're 10 points behind. I've watched some of the games recently when the lead got bigger and bigger by Leverkusen. I watched their games. Brother, they are cooked. Defensively, they might be one of the worst defensive side in Europe. Neuer is finished. Alphonso Davies is I feel like doesn't even want to be there anymore. He's just playing for the sake of playing. They've got no proper right back. They keep rotating the right back. I've watched 10, 11 Bayern games live. Every single game I watch of Bayern, Upamecano is having a horror show. Whether that's getting sent off, whether that's getting an own goal, whether that is a defensive howler. Every game I watch of Bayern, Upamecano must do something crazy. De Ligt next to him, no one knows. Kim Min-jae, to be fair, has been the only really consistent centre-back for them. They've got the worst double pivot in the whole world. If you think a double pivot of Goretzka and Kimmich is effective, is efficient in 2024, then brother, wallah, this sport's not for you. Joshua Kimmich, brother, I know Pep called you one of the smartest players he's ever coached. If I was to play for City next week, and Pep would see one training session of me, he would call me the smartest person, the most talented since Messi. Pep does it to every single player. I'm not even phased no more. Initially, it was a compliment. Now, the guy calls every Tom, Dick, and Harry. This experiment and gimmick of you playing in the midfield needs to end, bro. You're not a defensive midfielder. You're not a midfielder. I know you want to play there. I know Philipp Lahm transition from a right back to a defensive midfield on the Pep, and you said to yourself, I'm going to be the next Philipp Lahm and I can do it effectively. Brother, you're not that person, wallah. You're not. Just drop the gimmick and go back to right back where you can actually play as a right back. Just drop the gimmick, man. Wallah, just drop the gimmick, man. Just go. Just play right back. This is where you know how to play, man. This is how you to play. But listen, Sane started the season very well over the past couple of weeks. His question marks have been made about him. Gnabry, injury. Kingsley, I haven't seen him. Harry Kane, over 30 goals in the league. What a player. But the reason why I feel like against Arsenal, people say, why are you gassing up Arsenal? Why are you hyping Arsenal when they scrape through Porto? Brother, every team has been scraping through. Real Madrid scraped through Leipzig. Are we a bad team? Are we a bad team? Based from that logic, that means Real Madrid are their team then. Because we scraped through Leipzig. We got lucky against Leipzig. Did Arsenal get lucky against Porto? I don't think they did. First leg, they got beaten 1-0. Second leg, they should have scored more than one goal. Saka had a chance. Kai Havertz had a chance. Odegaard had a chance in the 90 minutes in the extra time. But they didn't finish it off. They went to penalties. They were clutch. And they won the game. Were they lucky? You know what? Nowadays, especially with football analysts, is that they think, and this is why I think we need to eliminate that thinking and the thought process behind it. Nowadays, yeah, every time when a team goes to extra time, when a team wins in penalties, when a team wins a scrappy 2-1, 1-0, the first thought process is they were lucky. They were lucky. They didn't deserve to win because it was only 1-0. It was 2-1. It was penalties. It was extra time. This myth needs to end. Just because a team won 3-4-0 doesn't mean they dominated throughout the 90 minutes in the 3-4-0. Am I getting that message clear to you guys? Are you guys understanding what I'm saying here? And Arsenal, why do you guys hate Arsenal? If you're saying Arsenal got lucky against Porto, Bayern got lucky against Lazio. They scraped it as well. They lost the first leg. Real Madrid got lucky. Everyone, in that case, everyone got lucky then. Why do people love to disregard Arsenal at every go? Arsenal this season has been one of the best teams in the world. Arsenal are leading the Premier League. Are they good? Yes, they are. Are they deservedly leading the Premier League? Yes, they are. Wins after wins. 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. Even in a scrappy win against Brentford, they're still doing it. Defensively, they are the best defensive side in the world. Saliba and Gabriel this season have been the best centre-back pairing this season. Numbers speaks for itself. Saliba is getting a lot of shouts. Deservedly so. I'm not denying of Saliba's greatness. Saliba this season, in my opinion, has been elite. Has been absolute elite. But why is no one talking about Gabriel on the left-hand side? Why is no one talking about Gabriel on the left-hand side? Ben White, since coming back from Dubai, he's been playing amazing. Chiwo, I don't know how you pronounce his name, by the way. He's been good. He's been good as well. Declan Rice has been amazing. Jorginho in that new role has been absolutely good. Erdegaard has been cooking. Bukayo Saka started the season on a slump. He had the GAs, but recently the performances is there. Beside the game against Porto, the game against Porto for me, it was horror. It was ridiculous. Kai Havertz, the last 4 Premier League games, he scored 4 goals. On the left-hand side, Martinelli was cooking before he got injured. Now we've got Trossard, who scored against Porto. I don't get this hate, this narrative about Arsenal being Arsenal. You need to stop thinking of Arsenal as the team they were 4, 5, 6 years ago, or 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They're not the banter club they know more. Why are people putting Arsenal and Chelsea next to each other? If you want to look at a banter club, Chelsea is the banter club. Manchester United is the banter club. They're not that. The image of Arsenal needs to be changed, bro. They are one of the best teams in the world. I don't personally understand it. Again, I don't support a British team. Maybe it's because it's the rivals, it's the rival fans hating on rival. Maybe it's because of that. But if you look at the game objectively, with no bias and no agendas and no narrative, stupid narrative, and no one clouding your judgment from social media or anything of that sort, Arsenal is one of the best teams in the world. They are the best team so far in the league, and they are the best defensive team in the world. Maybe it's a British Premier League thing. I don't get it. If you think Arsenal are not great, Arsenal are lucky, Arsenal is going to get destroyed by Bayern, Arsenal is this and that, then there's 3 things. There's 3 things behind your answer. 3 things. You're either biased. You're either hating for the sake of hating, even though you haven't watched Arsenal. You're either deluded, or either just plain and simple, you're just a haywan. Because if you think Arsenal are bad, this and that, this I don't know, this stigma behind Arsenal, I'm seeing it recently. Over the past 2 days, heading into this Champions League draw, everyone said, "Oh, give me Arsenal." Madrid fans saying it. Barca fans said it. Barca fans said it. Give me Arsenal. Bayern fans, City fans, come on, like why are we making Arsenal look like Chelsea or United? Are we forgetting one thing? Hold on. Are we forgetting that a lot of people, before the season started, said, "Oh, Arsenal not going to replicate the form from last season. Chelsea's back, United's back, and this and that. Arsenal, they had their chance, they're going to waste it. Then why are they leading the league in March?" The third matchup, Paris Saint-Germain against FC Barcelona. And let's talk about Barcelona. I honestly think this will be such an unfair matchup for Barcelona. Such an unfair matchup for Barcelona. Because when you look at Barcelona and when you think of Barcelona and when you watch Barcelona play, there is only one person that can impact the game for Barcelona, and there is a 16-year-old in Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal is the difference maker for Barcelona. There is no one else that you look at that team. If you took Lamine Yamal out of that team, you can't look at the Barcelona team and say to yourself, okay, this guy's going to create, this guy's going to do something, this guy is going to make something out of nowhere. They don't have that person no more. They had it in Messi. They had it in Neymar. They had it in Dembouz. Dembouz was that person. But guess what? Now he plays for the other team. And when you look at Barcelona this season, the game against Girona, the game against Real Madrid, the game against Villarreal, where they lost 5-3. So many games this season for Barcelona. When it comes to transition and when it comes to defending on a high line, they do it as bad as a lot of teams around the world. And now you're playing arguably against the best team who can exploit that in Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele. Two players who can do it better than anyone else. Mbappe against Barcelona is a mismatch. He's done it before. Hat-trick at Nou Camp. He's done it before. And when I look at Barcelona, one, I look at Xavi. I don't think Xavi has got the understanding and the awareness to tactically set up his team against Paris Saint-Germain. He's not a tactically astute manager, in my opinion. He was very lucky to even do it against Napoli. Napoli should have won the first game at Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. The second leg, they conceded 2 goals back-to-back stupidly in Furman and Cancelo. Stupidly. They came back 2-1, but then they attacked. They should have equalized. They should have made it 2-2. Before Barca scored the third goal. One person who can do that, in my opinion, when you look at this matchup, there is one X factor for both teams, and I'm looking at, beside the usual names of Mbappe, Lamine Yamal, Cancelo, in my opinion, can do a big difference. Because the only way Barcelona can exploit Paris Saint-Germain is on that left-hand side. The right-hand side is very strong and it's very strong. It's very defensive aware. And having Nuno Mendes, and every time I watch Berardo, for me, he's been defensively solid. He's been defensively aware, in my opinion. So that right-hand side, in my opinion, for PSG will be so locked in. It will be so locked in Mendes and Berardo. And that's where Lamine Yamal is going to be playing. The left-hand side is the problem. The left-hand side. The left-hand side is the problem. Because Hakimi might be missing the first leg, but whoever they put instead of him, the replacement for Hakimi, is going to be a scrub. When they line up in terms of their midfield and their attack, you can exploit that because Dembele is not known to track back every time. Their midfield of having even whether Ugato's going to be playing or Zaire Emery's going to be playing or whether it's going to be Fabio Ruiz and Vitinha, their right-hand side is the only way for Barcelona to exploit. So having Cancelo on the left would be so elite. But for me, the difference maker in this matchup for FC Barcelona is someone that's going to be on the bench. And I think they should start him 100% on the left-hand side. And his name is Joao Felix. Joao Felix can be the difference for Barcelona, especially in this matchup against Paris Saint-Germain. Because Barcelona will make the mistake. I know Xavi. He struggles against in these type of high pressure moments. What I'm expecting him to play is he's going to be playing Furman on the left. He's going to be playing 4 midfielders. So his mindset is, I'm going to be playing, depending on whether everyone's going to be healthy in Frenkie and Pedri, he's going to play Christensen as defensive midfielder, Gundogan and Sergio Roberto. I mean, is Pedri and Frenkie going to be healthy by the time they play? I don't know. Maybe Furman and maybe he's going to play 4 midfielders. When he goes to Parc des Princes, he's going to play 4 midfielders. Whether that's Romeo, whether that's someone else, I don't see Xavi playing 3 midfielders or having someone like Ferran Torres or Rafinha or Joao Felix on the left. 100% he's going to be playing 4 midfielders. Whether Frankie and Pedro will be back from injury, whether Gavi will make it miraculously recovery and come back from the ACL, he's going to be playing 4 midfielders. But if Xavi wants to win and if Xavi wants to counter, this is going to be a chess move between Enrique and Xavi. It's going to be a chess move. But it depends who's prepared to make the first move with the Queen. Who's prepared to make the first risky move with the Queen? Because the Queen starts at the back. Who's prepared to bring the Queen out first? And if Xavi is prepared to do it by playing 3 forwards And having Joao Felix on the left-hand side, I'm telling you who he's going to be the difference. Joao Felix, in my opinion, is so overhated, and at the same time, he's starting to become so underrated, in my opinion. Like, I feel bad for him. This image of him being a shit player or wasteful player. Come on, man. Honestly, like, it's so, like, I don't agree with this this myth about Joao Felix. I don't agree with it at all.